pick Greg and Long because I want you to have an opportunity that just think that you all three are very good people, capable, and always support the Vietnamese American here. But Josh thinks he has a better advantage because he's a Democrat. He has more leverage with the other Democrat in the state legislative to influence them, to help us. What would make you think you can also work with the Democrat at the state to advance the Vietnamese American issue?
Two points, and I'll make it quick because I know we're in a hurry. But I've got an 18-year record of successful work within the state legislature. All of those 18 years has been Democrat-dominated, and the issues that I've been working on have been primarily sort of Republican issues. They've been low tax, low regulation, that kind of thing, but I've very successfully navigated those issues and had good results. But more important than that is that I think that human rights is not a partisan issue. I think that there are people on both sides of the aisle that have the same level of concern and commitment to human rights. And I think it's a matter of connecting with those and demonstrating that, in fact, my heart is the same place as their heart. And I think that when you have a bipartisan approach, it's even stronger than what we are kind of facing in Sacramento right now, which is the supermajority, almost monolithic. So I would say that having a Republican approach is going to be very successful.
Yeah, I agree with just that, you know, you are buddy with the governor, it would be easy to make things done. But it doesn't have to be that way, you know, you have to bring convincing argument to the table at a time that they discuss. I think that's more important. But I agree with him that being a buddy, you don't need any argument, you know, you get things done. But there will be time that you need some convincing argument. You need that from the community. You need that voice and that idea from the community, and that's where we did it.
Sure. It's in order for the elected official to help their constituent, they need the constituent to also help them, helping the constituent. Right? We don't have much time, so let's discuss the other issue first. But before we do that, Long want to ask a question. You haven't had a chance, so can you be real quick about?
Okay. I switched the issue a little bit. I'm just asking about your three candidates here. How you guys thinking about sanctuary state?
Sanctuary state, sanctuary city issue.
Yeah, that is it the right way for the California go, or if you guys get in office, what you guys do with that issue?
I'm absolutely opposed to sanctuary programs of any sort in California. I think, first of all, that we are a nation of laws, and the federal law is the law that defines immigration policy. And furthermore, the sanctuary programs are designed to protect primarily very hardened criminals that have done terrible things in our society. And so, you know, this community is full of people that came here by obeying the laws and the rules and did it right. And I think that when we have people that came here without respecting our rules and our laws, and they commit crimes, they should not be offered sanctuary.
Josh?
Yeah, I think that the biggest problem with the sanctuary debate is that we get stuck on ideology and we're not solving the actual problem. What do we want to solve? We want crime to be lower. We want our communities to be safer. And so we talk about sanctuary issues as if it's going to make things better. Whether we like it or not, 10% of Orange County is undocumented. The unemployment rate in Orange County is 5%. It's actually a little bit lower than 5%. And so if we were to deport all of those people, we would have less consumers, less people supporting Vietnamese businesses. We would suffer from a labor shortage, as a matter of fact, and the economy would actually go down. That's not realistic, okay? Mass deportation, any economist will tell you, would have a negative impact. So let's go back to the issue of safety. When we have 10% of the people in Orange County that are undocumented, We want them to be able to call police if they're a victim of crime, if they see a crime, if they know something is unsafe, to be able to contact the fire department or others. That makes us safer. If we're talking about the issue of violent criminals that Greg has just made mention of, and that those people in particular should not be released after getting out of jail, I agree with that. Let's solve that. But let's not get stuck on this debate about whether or not we should have, we shouldn't have. We have to solve real problems. That's what this job is to make our lives better. And I don't want to do anything that's going to make crime rise. I want to do things that make crime go down. That's how I feel.
Well, I think we are living in a law governing country. If there's a federal law, the state should not do anything opposite to it. You know, we don't like it, that fixed from the beginning. Until then, you know, the law of the country is still the law of the country. We need to follow that. That's my position.
I really want to jump in to answer the question as well, but I'm not the candidate, so I don't have the right to answer the question.
We have a lot of laws in California that are against the federal laws.
Just to get close down the other important issue first, and then if we have time, then we can have a more Q&A. And that is, it seems like member here, like all of you, who will do a lot better, we don't know yet, but we all like all of you. And we would like to understand more. Would you want us to organize a debate for you?
Yes.
Yes.
And what would be the timeline? Because we got time to organize for really sufficient to organize debate. And the absentee ballot is going to be mailed out on the 10th. And probably to the Vietnamese community by May 15th is when they will receive the ballots. So when is it that we can do the debate? Obviously sooner the earlier, but what will the letters?
But the debate going to be invited all.
I think we will invite all so that the public.
If it is a public debate, we will invite all of the candidates. Right. Today, we only invite those that we feel that we would like to talk to, because this is an informal. This is not a debate. If we invite debate, we will invite all candidates, which is 5 of them, and we probably will just leave it to the campaign race, to the race that are most important to us. For example, the 72 district, which is very touching the heart of this community, and perhaps the sheriff. But we are not going to invite other candidates from other races, like the Atrois,
one of the things that I'm guessing my fellow candidates have noticed is that I'm sorry to say, I think most people spend more time choosing their fantasy sports league players than they do their government representatives. But I'd rather not constrict the time by expanding it to a lot of other candidates. If we have the opportunity to really tell our stories and share our positions, that will take some time. But whatever works, I will be there.
Let us put together a debate committee, and I probably will ask you, anh Khánh Nguyễn, to be a part of that committee. We form it.
My schedule quite full, but
so let's take a look at that, and we'll organize one, perhaps.
But
yeah, just to let you know, May 9th, 10th, or 11th is impossible for me. And other than that, I will be at any opportunity to speak with voters.
Will it need to be the weekend or weekdays? Okay.
Doesn't depend on what the date we selected. But I think the most effective way to be that the debate should be televised, so all community members can able to watch and view and able to make time sometime.
If I have at least a week, I think I can invite most of the local TV station and newspaper to be there to cover it. Today I don't want to invite them because first of all, this is very short notice. I just talked to some of you on Friday, and then we're busy with Sunday.
May I suggest that if we can do that if not on the weekend, then near the weekend, for example, on Friday evening, so that people don't have to worry about the following day go to work.
Friday, a lot of elderly will not be able to go to the evening because.
Okay, well, Saturday morning.
What about Memorial Weekend?
That's still
difficult.
so.
Most of it out.
Most people might vote already.
I suggested to Saturday, May 12 at around 1 o'clock. And
May
you can
12
have
be
more
good enough for
time
you?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Is that too late for your campaign?
Afternoon.
You know,
That's when the absentee ballot
He just
arrives.
say 9, 10, 11, he will be out of the...
Yes, but the 12.
The
12 is not. 12 or 13. The question is the 12 or the 13. Is it too late for you to have
Sunday, impossible. Sunday, most.
Mother's
would it
Day.
be possible to be the following weekend, maybe?
so that will be the 20th?
Yeah.
Yeah, it will be a little bit later.
19,
Some
20.
people already mail their.
My question is, would it be too late for your campaign because most absentee ballot might already be mailed out by that time?
See how Vietnamese American voters, they sooner receive the ballot, they just want to get out the
They
way.
vote
so
already.
They vote right away.
So my suggestion would be either the 6th or the 12th, or the 5th or the 12th. And the 5th is be a very busy time for the community because we have other events.
Single the mayor and all that
Fifth,
stuff.
sixth, we tie already.
May 12th, can you handle May 12th?
I'm having a surgery
Ooh.
on May
Sorry.
9th.
Okay.
And so I'm trying to accommodate you.
You can get the
but I'm,
the sympathy vote. We'll roll you in on a gurney. Pretend you're people.
Maybe more competition.
It's unfortunately something I cannot avoid.
And May 6th, May 5 before your...
Yeah, I could do that, or the following, or I could go, I just don't know how I will
Fifth is,
feel. I
May
apologize.
5th at 3 o'clock?
no,
Why not?
No, because after the ceremony, Miss,
honoring
and
Mr.
then
Kanyan.
we have a little lunch.
Like lunch from noon to 2.
Then the 14th, yeah, 3.
To 3?
14:30, yeah.
Yeah,
We are
Okay, how about 4?
so tired for us to run around. So the 5 or 6, yeah.
5 p.m.
Same place, at the same center, from 4 to
Did you do that?
schedule the newspaper and local television and participate, and we can do it.
4 to 6.
You know,
We have no other time,
Okay,
Mr.
that's-
Buoy.
Okay.
On the
Same place?
5th?
Same
This
place?
is on the 5th?
One of you.
On the 5th,
Yeah,
4 p.m. to 6 p.m.
that's this Saturday.
Saturday. Could that work for you all?
Is that right?
Yeah, Saturday, that's Saturday.
Yes,
Yeah, that's the only
Saturday.
time they have. That,
That May 5th, Saturday.
yeah, the following
That's
week,
great.
you have a problem because
I
you
can do
have
that.
surgery, yeah, so that's why they move
4 o'clock,
up.
4 to 6.
And if that's the case, then just one dress, because we don't have a lot of time, because 2 hours is not enough even for your tree. So from 4 to 6, and it's only cover the Assembly 72 district.
Yeah.
Okay, done.
About location.
Westminster Community Center, 8200 Westminster Boulevard.
You have
send
to
it.
check, make sure the facility available.
It's available. We have the event. We already booked the event from noon to 3 o'clock. So we just extend it to, and it costs a little bit more if we use the same place.
Thank you all for wanting to do this on behalf of your, it's not for you, now you know who we are. This is really on behalf of.
Very important for the upcoming debate. I'm going to ask you some other question, and thank you to Mr. Khánh Nguyen to bring it up, and that's related to crime, to housing, two very important issues for our community and for the cities here in North Orange County, which see crime going up by 40, sometimes 50%, depending on the place. In my visit to the Assembly, to the State Senate last Wednesday, I swing by to the Assembly office, Tom Daly, and I asked him for help to help my city, Garden Grove, to have enough resource to combat rising crime. And that rising crime is because the state a few years ago passed a bill, an ordinance to release the prisoner too early. and so those reasons will come out, and then
It's a pretty big assumption, Fat. 40 to 50% from early release. I don't think the data substantiates that.
It may not be, but it certainly be a big crime, depending on the source. But in Garden Grove, there's a huge spike in crime. Even our PD department report that.
Absolutely.
Even the resident complain about that. And we don't have enough officer support.
Right.
Now, Assemblyman Tom Daly promised us that sometime toward the end of this year, when the governor is out, the state assembly will try to push new law to move it back into the middle. Because we used to be too strict on crime, and now the governor Brown had moved it all the way to the other side, which allow crime to go up too much for our local city in North County. So the state assembly is trying to move it back to the middle,
yes,
where it makes more sense. And we need Garden Grove and Westminster and other cities need more state money to help us beef up our PD in order to combat crime. And we hope you guys will do that. But those questions, we don't have time to deal with it now. We will talk about that at the debate, and I go in the meantime, I will try to educate my community more about it so that they can follow your answers.
I have a question. In this debate, will we be able to ask each other questions?
It's up to you guys. If you want to do that, then we.
No, you have to set the guideline. You have to do.
Right. But no. But we want to understand whether you guys feel comfortable with that. If you all three comfortable with that, then we will set the guideline and we'll allow that.
I think within a reasonable format, I think that would be a good thing.
You should be a moderator when they set up a set of guidelines and respectful of each other.
Right.
Yeah. We'll do that. Okay.
What I saw in the
no attack, but we can ask questions.
That's what I meant. Respectful of each other.
No,
well, what I saw in the recent congressional debates, and I actually moderated to the 48th congressional debates, is each candidate was able to ask one question to one of the other people on stage. And that might be a way to
that may be reasonable because you guys is a politician. You guys understand the rule and the law of the state or federal government. So we just concerned about some of the things happen in our community. And for example, in our Vietnamese American community, we worry about the Vietnamese people back in Vietnam. But
I think there's two things. One thing is you learn a lot about a person by what they state are their important things that they want to work on and their values. You also learn a lot about somebody about how they conduct it and how they treat the community and what they say. And you learn about somebody's character. What's their wiring? Who are they as people? Because all of us are going to find disagreements to some degree or another. But how do you actually work together? Or what do you do when you disagree with somebody? And so I think it's important for the community to evaluate everything about somebody's character and how they conduct themselves as well. So,
As you are aware that currently we do not have Vietnamese representative in the California Assembly, and we are looking forward to our representative representing us in the Assembly, effectively advocating and fighting for the Vietnamese American interest in the state of California in general, and specifically in the 72nd District. That's what we're looking for. And we would like to be able to pick the right candidate, the right leaders.
I do too. I'm a voter too. I mean, I do too.
And it seems to me that the more important part of what you just described is someone who's going to honestly represent you, not so much what their heritage is.
Most importantly, the individual objective, because a lot of politicians telling things that when they're campaigning, but when they get elected,
Right.
to make a different story.
Right.
And those are the kind of thing that we would like very much. And also, as a religious leader, we cannot tell, and well, we support this individual or that individual or candidate, but we could able to tell that who us as individual will support and will vote for. That's all we can say. We cannot tell our followers that, well, you should vote for this individual or that candidate and this candidate and so on. We cannot do that.
Right.
We don't think so. We believe this individual, and we will personally we will vote for that individual.
Yeah.
That's all we can say.
Many of us can endorse someone, but we cannot tell. Like, for example, if I endorse person A, I could do that, but I cannot tell the Vietnamese, that, hey, I want you to vote for this, that. Publicly, I cannot do that.
Yeah, personally you can endorse it,
Yeah.
But you cannot endorse on behalf of Vietnamese American Federation.
Okay.
Well, I would certainly invite you to also reach out to other forms of media besides just the Vietnamese media to cover.
Other media to that debate.
The Register,
Sure.
the LA Times, or anybody, some of the community newspapers might.
We'll do that, whether they come or not. I think we'll find it.
Normally the mainstream media like Register and LA Times, they don't cover Vietnamese community events so much.
The great thing you have here is that this may be the only real debate amongst
Yeah,
these
so far there's no debate
Really?
on this one yet. So if
we do that.
about
With that, we will let them know, and then if they want to come, they can
Some
come.
press release.
One thing that I on behalf of my community, I would like to thank you, and I want to assure you that why we naturally may want to have a Vietnamese American representing us, it's not the given. We many times vote for non-Vietnamese against the Vietnamese if we see that that person is worthy and better than the Vietnamese candidate, and we do that quite a few times. I think the fact that many of us did vote for Loretta Sanchez and not vote for Van Tran speak volume about our view. We do not care about whether this candidate is Democrat or Republican. We look at that. We look at the candidate as, is this person can understand the Vietnamese American issue? Is this candidate is willing to work with us, listen to our concern, and be a champion for many of the issues that we're so so concerned about. And so we thank you for your time here.
Thank you.
Okay. And we look forward to see you on May 5th, the debate. And I've just talked to some of the leaders here. We decided to do it at 3:30 p.m.
3:30, May 5th.
May 5th, to give us some more time.
At the
8200 Westminster Avenue. That's the Westminster City Community Center. But we will send out a more email invitation and all the thing, and all of the debate guideline. Okay.
But before that, we have a light lunch with the guests on the commemoration of Lieutenant Colonel Nguyễn Thị Thanh Nhơn. And then we invite the guests to have a light lunch.
You know, it's also that day, it's also a special day for the Mexican community. Cinco de Mayo, as a matter of fact. So it'll be a nice day. And it's a diverse community.
Anyway, we invite all you three come and light lunch.
So you can have a light lunch.
We're going to serve margaritas.
Maybe a shot of whiskey so that you can get energized for the debate.
No, we don't do that.
Not a public property.
No. Anyway, on May 5th, we have a very important event with Senator Janet Nguyen. She's going to unveil the script sign name that is going to be mounted on at a certain section on the 405 freeway. and that's to dedicate to Mrs. Hanyan. You see her poster there. She has been championed fundraising to help the Vietnamese veteran at home, because the South Vietnamese Army veterans at home, the wounded one.
Actually, there should be a former member of the Republic of Vietnam.
Yeah.
They
never been helped by the Communist Vietnamese government, because they view them as enemy. So they live a very difficult life. And there are remaining about 15,000 of them who live on the sidewalk of life. And Miss Hanyan for the last 11, 12 years?
No, more than that.
More than that?
Since 1992.
She has been, yeah.
But start in 2006, we have some,
live concert.
Yeah.
fundraising
fundraising,
So,
raising money. That from that time we raise better money in order to support them.
And the entire community all over the world, with her coordination, raise about $1 million each year. And at the last event, a month or so before the event took place, she passed away. And to fulfill her wish that she would like to have more money, because there's still a lot that does not get help. That years, which is last August, we raised about $2+ million, more than $2 million to help. But even with $2 million, if you divide by, let's say, 10,000 people, each person get only $200 a year. It's not enough to do to help them. So we are going to honor them on May 5th from 11 a.m. at the Vietnam War Memorial, where you attend the Black April last night. We will have a short memorial service there, and then we go to 8200 Westminster Community Center to to have a little banquet, and we would like to invite you to both. If you can be both, that's great. If you cannot, then join us for lunch. And if you cannot do that, then we see you at the debate at 3:30.
Thank you.
Or at the same place. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.